West Pakistan is separated from East Pakistan by over 2200 kilometers by air and 5000 kilometers or 12 days journey by sea, with a country seen as hostile by Pakistan separating them. The Indian subcontinent in 1971. West Pakistan always dominated East Pakistan, even though the East contributed the maximum to the economy. In the December 1970 elections in Pakistan, the Awami League of East Pakistan won 167 of the 313 seats, giving it an absolute majority in the Pakistan Central Assembly. The West Pakistan based parties led by Bhutto refused to accept this verdict, resulting in a reign of terror by West Pakistan under Lieutenant General Tika Khan. An estimated half a million to 3 million people were killed in East Pakistan, and about 1 crore refugees came into India from Bangladesh, encouraged by India opening up its eastern borders. On 26 March 1971, East Pakistan declared the independence of Bangladesh. Many service personnel defected and formed the Mukti Bahini, a rebel guerrilla force. At the end of April 1971, the Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, is believed to have told the Indian Army Chief, General Sam Manekshaw, to launch a war in East Pakistan. The Army Chief, however, is believed to have advised that victory in a war in December could be guaranteed due to the effects of rains in Bangladesh and the closure of passes with China in winter. Simultaneously, in order to tackle the USA China Pakistan axis, India signed a 20-year treaty of peace and friendship with the erstwhile USSR in August 1971. Brilliant maneuver warfare versus force on force in the East. The political aim was to liberate East Pakistan and create Bangladesh. In the East, India followed the doctrine of maneuver warfare, focusing on psychological defeat as compared to the force on force followed in the West. It thus threatened the critical vulnerability of the enemy, that is Dhaka, the center of gravity. Only selected positions were attacked to create logistical corridors, and gaps were exploited to reach that critical vulnerability, that is Dhaka. Once threatened, East Pakistan crumbled, especially with the option of either surrendering to a disciplined Indian army or falling into the hands of a bloodthirsty Mukti Bahini, which was baying for revenge. In the West, it resisted the force of Pakistan with offensive defense. It was in this environment of impending war that the raising of 72 Armored Regiment was ordered. Political direction and aim of war. As a responsible democracy, India could not be seen as an aggressor. It could only be a liberator of the oppressed Bangladeshis. Thus, the aim of the 1971 war was: in the East, the political aim was to create the new nation state of Bangladesh. This victory had to be absolute, leaving the international community with no option but to recognize the new state. In the Western theatre, the clear mandate was to follow an offensive defense posture. Thus, the change in decision in Cham from offensive to defense. The very first special order of the day emphasized that the traditions and the standards that we set will be followed for years to come. I am certain that they will be the highest. The regimental colors were decided as blood red, gold, and blood red. The first flag was hoisted on 15 August 1971. The regimental crest was adopted, and the regiment motto was decided as Vivek Veerta Vijay, meaning wisdom, bravery, victory. 17 October 1971, first lot of 25 tanks arrived. Shastra Puja, 2 days inspection, off to KK ranges, quick zeroing, and on to the station for loading onto the train for Kathua. The firing is witnessed by the Commandant Armored Corps Central School, and on 25th October 1971, the regiment is declared operational. Then followed the immediate induction of the regiment into the operational area. Upon reaching Gora Salathia from 1st to 4th November 1971, the interim location, the tanks then moved to Ismailpur ranges near Jammu and did battle zeroing and firing practice with a limited tank troop training and minefield crossing practice. Since no targets were available, battle zeroing was done by painting some boulders in white and firing on them. Very limited firing practice was possible. After a perilous crossing over the river Chenab, the regiment arrived in its concentration area at Palwan on the night of 6th-7th November 1971. The structure of command at the start of the war in the RHQ and at the squadron levels. Before moving forward, it is important to look at the importance of Champ. The village Champ, the strategic town of Akhnur, and the road leading to Jammu in the south. In the north is the high Kalidhar range of hills, and in the south is the perennial unfordable river Chenab, both formidable obstacles. To Pakistan, the importance of this area lay in the fact that capture of Akhnur and the bridge over the river cuts off the communication with Rajouri and other towns in the north, as also the other military formations located there. To the south was the axis for advance toward Jammu. For India, the critical Pakistani communication road and rail links of GT Road is just 35 kilometers from the international border, and Marala Headworks that controls the waters of the river Chenab was just 10 kilometers away. Pakistan 23 Infantry Division, consisting of 2 Armoured Brigade and 5 Infantry Brigades. India 10 Infantry Division, consisting of 2 armoured regiments, that is 9 horse and 72 Armoured Regiment, and 4 Infantry Brigades, of which 1, that is 28 Infantry Brigade, was in the hills. The broad deployment of 10 Infantry Division was 10 Infantry Division and the second line of defense at Troti Dhonchak, 28 Infantry Brigade 191 Infantry Brigade, 52 Infantry Brigade, the concentration area of 72 Armored Regiment and 68 Infantry Brigade. The deployment of 191 Infantry Brigade on the night of 3rd December 1971 at the commencement of hostilities was deployment of screens, Headquarter 191 Infantry Brigade at Chamb, 5 Sikh at Gora Fagla, 5 Assam at Gogi Barsala, 4-1 GR at Jhanda Manavar, and 10 Garhwal Rifles at Raipur and Dhar crossings. 9 horse less 2 squadrons in area Chaprial, Alpha Squadron less 3 troops at Chak Pandit with a troop each in the battalion locations. C Squadron in the area of Nadala Enclave. 18:30 hours, 3rd December. Attack imminent. Commandant ordered 72 Armored Regiment to move to its forward assembly area at Bhagwan Chak adjoining Palamwala. The regiment remained in Palamwala throughout the war. Pakistan's plan for offensive against India in the Chamb sector. HR 2100 hours India time, 3rd December 1971. Pak 66 Infantry Brigade and 111 Infantry Brigades to secure a lodgement across the ceasefire line. 66 Infantry Brigade north of Koil, opposite 5-6 area. 111 Infantry Brigade opposite Gogi Barsala in the south. 11 Cav group to then break out and advance towards Mandyala crossing on axis Deva Mandyala and secure the home bank of Manavar Tavi at Mandyala crossing before last light 4 December 1971. 111 Infantry Brigade to conduct offensive probe towards Chak Pandit and Chamb to draw out the reserves of 191 Infantry Brigade and capture Chamb by last light 5 December 1971. 20 Infantry Brigade in the south to hold ground and make attack demonstrations in the area Burejal, Manavar and Nadala Enclave. 4 AK Brigade to establish a bridgehead and capture Kachrial Ridge and Mandyala Bridge. Further operations towards Akhnur depending on the situation. '66 Infantry Brigade was able to secure a 3,000-yard lodgement. 11 Cavalry broke out at first line. 111 Infantry Brigade failed to make any victory. In the south, all the attacks failed. Immediately after the attack by Pak on 3 December night, the GOC 10 Infantry Division immediately released 9 horse to 191 Infantry Brigade. 9 horse less 2 squadrons were located at Chamb. 9 horse Alpha Squadron with troops at point 303 Barsala and Jhanda. 9 horse Bravo Squadron less 2 troops in area Chak Pandit with troops at Burejal and Manavar. 9 Horse Charlie Squadron east of Tavi in area Khor. 72 Armored Regiment moved forward to its forward assembly area with the RHQ located at Palamwala, Alpha Squadron at Palatan, Bravo Squadron to Chapriyal and Charlie Squadron at Kalit. Night 4th-5th December, Bravo Squadron 72 Armored Regiment ordered to cross over to the west of Manawat and placed under command 191 Infantry Brigade. 7 Kumaon and C Squadron 72 Armored Regiment were ordered to counterattack Mandyala North. C Squadron commenced the move towards Mandyala Crossing. 7 Kumaon got delayed due to non-availability of troop-carrying vehicles, and 7 Kumaon R&O group got caught in shelling, where the CO and some officers and jawans were seriously injured. The attack could thus not go through. The GOC now directed C Squadron and 7 Kumaon to take up positions on the east bank of the river. By first light, 5th December 1971, Bravo Squadron was deployed with 1 troop under M.E. Man in Goda Heights with a company 5 Sikh, 4 troop under Naib Risaldar Umed Singh in the area of Fagla near point 303 in company 5 Sikh, 2 troop under 2nd Lieutenant D.K. Sood to cover gaps south of Chak Pandit between Jhanda and Manawar, 3 troop under Lieutenant Gautam Chopra to cover gap between Jhanda and Burejal in 41 GR area, squadron headquarters at Chak Pandit, and the regimental headquarters continued at Palamwala with A and C squadrons at Palatan and C squadron en route to Mandyala. Meanwhile, 4 AK Brigade reached Mandyala crossing and was preparing to attack across Manawat. The crossing incidentally was defended only by a company, 9 para-commandos in an infantry role. 7 Kumaon was still consolidating due to the shelling in which its R&O groups, including the commanding officer, had been injured. The attack was to be launched at 0300 hours on 5th December 1971. CO of Pak 6 AK Battalion, however, lost his way and failed to join the unit to lead it to the FUP. Neither the 4 AK Brigade Commander nor CO Pak 13 AK were aware of this. The Northern Company lost its direction on crossing the river and veered northwards and ran into 216 Medium Regiment gun areas deployed in Chapriyal. There was a lot of hand-to-hand fighting with these medium gunners who fought valiantly. The depth batteries of 216 Medium and 39 Medium Regiment engaged the enemy by direct shooting, causing very heavy casualties. the retreating Southern Company of 13 AK Battalion managed to capture the eastern bank of the Mandela Bridge. Charlie Squadron, along with 7th Kumaon, who had by then stabilized, counterattacked from the east and restored the situation, causing very heavy enemy casualties. Number 1 Troop under Captain M.E. Mann effectively engaged enemy armor going to and coming back from Mandela Crossing and destroyed 5 tanks and 4 RCLs. 2 of his tanks were hit, the gun of one being damaged and one catching fire, which was later extinguished. These tanks were then pulled back. Number 4 Troop, B Squadron, Phagla, 5 December. The enemy attacked area of Phagla with armor and infantry. Number 4 Troop Bravo Squadron was led by Naib Risaldar Umed Singh. It destroyed 3 enemy tanks and 2 RCLs and successfully repulsed the attack. One of the troops' tank caught fire due to a hit, which was later recovered. One tank got damaged by medium artillery fire, and the third tank's main gun was damaged. Such was the ferocity of the engagement that all 4 tanks of the troop were hit, and Naib Risaldar himself was injured and evacuated. It now had only 1 tank which was hit but had been recovered. Due to the northern thrust being blocked by C Squadron 72 Armoured Regiment and 7 Kumaon, Pak 23 Infantry Division now decided to focus on the southern thrust. 111 Infantry Brigade and 2 Armoured Brigade were employed on the thrust line south of Moil, Gogi Barsala, Chak Pandit on to Manawar Tawi towards Chamb, Dhar and Raipur crossings. The enemy maintained pressure by attacking Goda, Phagla and Point 303. Gogi Barsala came under heavy attack from infantry and armor but was repulsed by number 3 Troop Bravo Squadron and companies of 5 Assam and 5 Sikh. SDM Fateh Singh was wounded and Last Davdar Mahabir Singh assumed command. By first light 6 December, Alpha Squadron crossed over and was deployed half squadron under Major Kalan with number 3 Troop under Naib Risaldar Karamchand and 4 Troop under Risaldar Mohanlal in area of Phagla, Point 303. Second half squadron under Squadron 2IC Captain Ahluwalia with number 1 Troop led by Colonel Bali and number 2 Troop led by Naib Risaldar Sukhdev in area Jhanda, Burejal. December 1971, Second Lieutenant D.K. Sood, using his anti-aircraft machine gun of the tank, shot down a Pakistani F-86 Sabre jet, which was seen crashing down. 17:30 hours, 6 December 1971, location Chaprial. Due to intense enemy shelling, the regiment lost two of its finest officers, Major Amarjit Singh and Captain Emil Safaya, who were overseeing the deployment of the squadron at the time. Considering the importance and dominance of Gura, brigade decided to counterattack with Delta Company 58GR and half squadron armor under 2IC Alpha Squadron with numbers 1 and 2 troops, Alpha Squadron from area Jhanda Borejal in the south. The counterattack was ordered at 14:30 hours to be launched at Tetu Hazra. The attack was launched at 18:10 hours. Enemy was still reorganizing. 2 enemy tanks and 2 RCLs were destroyed with heavy infantry casualties. Gura was thus captured by 19:30 hours. With half squadron Alpha going to Gura, Pak 111 Infantry Brigade with support from 28 Cav relaunched attacks on Gogi Basala and succeeded in the capture of these localities from 5 Assam. Enemy armor found the dummy minefield gap between Jhanda and Borejal and exploited this with speed. 20 Infantry Brigade with a squadron of 26 Cav managed to overcome the defences of 41GR at Manawar and came up to Malke camp, which was not held. Commando 191 Infantry Brigade informed the GOC 10 Infantry Division that 5 Assam and 41GR battalion defended areas had been overrun and withdrawn east of Manawatavi. The GOC 10 Div therefore ordered the withdrawal of the entire brigade east of Manawatavi by 21:30 hours on 6 December 1971. Deployment east of Manawatavi, night 6 December 1971. 7 Kamau and Charlie Squadron, area Mandala Crossing. Company 9 Jat with number 2 Troop Bravo Squadron and number 4 Troop Alpha Squadron 72 Armored at Cham Crossing. 9 Jat less a company at Dhar Crossing supported by number 1 Troop Bravo Squadron and later number 2 and 3 Troops Alpha Squadron 72 Armored under Squadron 2IC Alpha Squadron. Alpha Squadron less 3 troops west of Palatan. 10 Garhwal plus Charlie Squadron 9 Horse in area Raipur and south of Chattitali. 58GR to locate at Mandala Bridge as a reserve to 68 Infantry Brigade. 7 Garhwal of 52 Infantry Brigade plus 9 Horse less C Squadron in the area of the second line of defence, area Troti Heights, as a reserve to 10 Infantry Division. 7 December 1971. The enemy, unaware that 191 had withdrawn beyond Manawar Tavi, carried out full-fledged attacks with Div Arty at village Champ, only to find that the Indian troops had withdrawn. Meanwhile, Major M.S. Pentle took charge of B Squadron, now down to 8 tanks, and Major Sandhu took charge of C Squadron. Number 4 Troop A Squadron under Risaldar Mohanlal came under command B Squadron. 9 December. General Iftikhar Khan Janjua, the GOC 23 Div, who led the Div with so much aggression, died in a helicopter crash. He was replaced by Brigadier Kamal Matiduddin, who decided to continue with General Janjua's plan for offensive. 10 December 1971. The battle for Dhar and Raipur crossings. 111 Infantry Brigade launched a 2-battalion up attack roughly along the Dhar and Raipur crossings, and Pak armour was expected to break out towards Palawala through this bridgehead. By 0300 hours, the enemy had captured 9 Yard and 10 Garhwal forward defended localities. 0600 hours, quick counterattack by 34 GR, which was under command 9 Jat. The counterattack halted by the enemy, however disrupted and delayed the induction of additional enemy infantry and armour. Simultaneously, the enemy attacked Dhar and Raipur crossings. Both these positions fell to the enemy. Alpha Company 34 GR and 3 Troop Alpha Squadron 72 Armoured Regiment counterattacked Raipur crossing. Tanks of the Pak inducted armour and the Indian tanks both got bogged down. Our troops now created a perimeter to prevent further expansion of the bridgehead and breakout by the enemy. By now, the enemy had expanded the bridgehead, measuring 4,000 meters wide and 1,000 meters deep. The enemy armour was now poised to break out with the limited armour that had been inducted towards Palawala. Number 1 and number 2 troop then got into a counter-penetration role. This force of Central Armoured Regiment and the infantry prevented further expansion of the bridgehead and subsequently became the fire base for the counterattack force. The GOC 15 Corps specially flew down into the Div sector and personally saw the operations from the Div operations room. He concurred with the GOC 10 Division's decision to launch counterattacks at Dhar and Raipur crossings. The situation in late afternoon, 10 December, was that the enemy had created a bridgehead 4,000 meters wide, 1,000 meters deep, and some enemy tanks had been inducted, waiting to break out. 2 troops of Alpha Squadron, 1 troop under Lieutenant Bali, and 2 troops under Naib Sardar Sukhdev Singh were in a counter-penetration role, later to become the fire base. A decision was taken to launch a counterattack under Major M.S. Pentle. It was to consist of a troop of Bravo Squadron under Risaldar Ajit Singh, number 4 Troop Alpha Squadron under Risaldar Mohanlal, 3 troops ex-Armoured Delivery Regiment under 2nd Lieutenant D.K. Sood, and 2 tanks of 9 horse, a total of 12 tanks. HR was 1730 hours. A textbook counterattack with accurate fire support from the firebase, an assault by the armor in difficult terrain, and the assault by 58 GR. Simultaneously, Raipur crossing was successfully attacked by a company of 10 Garhwal and a company of 34 GR supported by armor from C Squadron 9 Horse with 3 Troop Alpha Squadron 72 Armored Regiment continuing in fire support.
assure you the country is in safe hands.